Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. Today you are going to be looking at Poison by Nikolas Mavresis. Let's roll the intro and get straight into the review. So you've stuck around, which means that you are interested in learning more about Poison. Now, as usual, sometimes I do post an effect up here in the corner of me performing the trick, but however, this is a 3 to 4 minute routine that requires spectator interaction and spectators to be with you. So I will not be able to actually perform this for you, but I will put a link down in the descriptions to Peter Nardi's performance, which is mostly uncut and will be exactly how the effect turns out. But for those that are not interested in doing that, I'll give you a quick description of the effect. Essentially, you have a pack of cocktails. You take out one card to place on the table, which would be your mystery drink. You then present 4 cut cards of different colors. You start dealing the cards and people say stop, and you place the cut card exactly where they say stop, and they do that 4 times for each 4 cut cards. You then remove the cut cards with the card next to them, which is essentially the card they stopped on. You reveal that the drinks they stopped on match the color of their respective cut cards. Then the first and second cut card reveal information about the drinks that is bang accurate and could not be anything else. Then the third cut card reveals the mystery drink in a very ingenious way. And the last cut card reveals the kicker ending, where all the other drinks would have been poison if they would have stopped anywhere else. So that's essentially the effect. Now, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get with your money? Now, you buy this at Alakazam, either UK or US. I am not aware of any other place selling the trick for the moment. So those are your 2 options. It comes in 2 different price ranges. So it's either $34.99 for the poker version, such as this one, or $39.99 for the parlor version, which is essentially the same trick, but with slightly bigger cards. Now, what do you get? You get, the first thing I'm going to mention is the instructional video. So you get a video of around 45 minutes to an hour long, which is basically Peter Nardi and Nikolas kind of going through the different routines, because you do get 3 routines. You do get the routine that I mentioned, which is my favorite. You get another routine, which is essentially the same routine, but dialed down to make it a lot shorter and a lot faster, and basically be done, you know, in table hopping with no need to spread the cards or anything like that. And then you get another routine, which is essentially a wild card, where cocktails and beers kind of interchange within each other. And those other 2 routines are explained by Nikolas, while the first one is explained by Peter with Nikolas's input. As well, what you get is this deck of cards, and I think this is what most people are interested. This is what the box looks like. Inside, I will show you some of the cards. Let me just make sure that I remove the instruction card here. This is your instruction card, and this is what the cards look like. This is what some of the cocktails look like. This is what the back of the cards look like. The cards that you saw on the top, that are the white cards right here. These are essentially cards that you can customize to your own language, because the ones that you get are printed for the English language. So they are printed for the English language. So if you want to perform this in any other language, you get these cards here. And these are your cut cards. Then you get, like I said, these are what you need for the oil and water and the second effect, because for the second effect, the kicker ending is that they get the only non-alcoholic drink, and that is essentially the small kicker. And then you also get these, which are for your oil and water routine. And then you get your normal deck, which is not as big as a normal deck of 52 cards. So you get your 4 cut cards, your drinks, and then you also get your bank of poison cards, which do look very nice. And this is the size of the cards. They're pretty good size. I feel that these you could maybe even perform parlor, because you do so much stuff on the table that I honestly don't feel that you need a bigger size, because I honestly think that the bigger size could be a bit too big and hinder some of the process of the routine. But it is a very well made and a very quality product, so there's no complaint in that regard. The cards handle well, everything handles well, the instructions are good. Now let's get into the difficulty. Is this difficult to perform? No, it is not. There's only two things that you have to learn that are just based upon, you know, how to deal with the cards and how to pick them up. And that's essentially the entirety of the difficulty. This is essentially a self-working trick. You learn those two things and you're ready to go. Similar for the oil and water, it's basic oil and water. You're not going to have to learn any knuckle busting moves. And even for the shorter variation, nothing too hard. So this is pretty much self-working. The deck does everything for you in most of the routines. Apart from that, what we can talk about now is what is the practicality of this deck. So this is a deck that you have to carry around, and I know this is one of the big pet peeves of many magicians, is any extra deck to carry around is annoying. And this is, again, you know, no surprise, this is specifically made for this trick. You're not going to perform anything else with it. But it is well packaged, it is going to fly by, and I do think that if you perform at restaurants or if you perform at bars, you're probably going to be the best magician they've seen with this deck in years, because this will work perfectly for a bar and it will get the attention of many people because it plays grand. You can also perform this at, you know, if you have a table sitting and people come by. I think this is just a really fun trick. I think this is the crux of it. It's not as serious as your other tricks, but it plays better than most of your other tricks. And I think it's just something that grabs the attention of people, you know, dealing with drinks. It's colorful. They see you spread cards. They see you deal. They see you people shout out stop. I think it just plays big. So I do think that practicality wise, this is worth your carry. Now, I also kind of hinted already at where do you perform this effect, and that is, especially if you perform at bars or restaurants, this will work perfectly. But I do think that this can work in other situations as well, because it is, like I just mentioned, nonetheless, a super interesting trick and something that most people have never seen before, and it's super original and it's going to captivate people's attention. And I do think that they will absolutely enjoy your performance of the effect. Now that all of that is out of the way, let us talk about the positives and negatives before wrapping up the review, because this is a very simple review to do, because the effect is exceptional and it's, you know, there's not much to say about it because it's so self-working. And once I showed you the cards and explained to you the effect, that's pretty much what you get. So what are the positives and negatives? I'll start with the negatives this time, since I like to switch things up. The negatives are that you have to carry around an extra deck. And that's pretty much it. I cannot think of an extra negative on this, to be honest, because if you think the effect is too long, they offer you a shorter variation. If you don't speak English and you're scared that you won't be able to perform this, they offer you blank cards to perform it. You don't want to perform, you know, the first two effects. You have the oil and water if you prefer. So you have so much variations, but I'll talk about all this in the positive. So let's get to it. So positive number one, really well made. The cards are really good. Handles perfectly. They're super nice. The box is nice. The instructions are good. You will understand everything from the start. There's no confusion, nothing. It is super easy to perform. It is super fun for the spectator. It is original. I've not seen any trick like this before. It is super original. It is also, like I said, visual. You can customize it to your own language. You have a plethora of routines that you can do to adapt to your different performing scenarios. It is not that expensive. I do think that this has so many more positives than negatives, and I'm sure you can come up with your own positives just by taking stuff that I said from the review. Now, I'll end it here, and I'll give you guys, for those that like more of, you know, numerical pinpoint of the product, I will give this an 9 out of 10. I do think that if this catches your eye, you will be super pleased with your purchase. I don't think you're gonna have any problem with it, and it's gonna deliver exactly what it promises. and I would recommend a buy on this, as most Alakazam products, I do think that they are excellent. And to this day, as before ending the review, I still do not understand how Alakazam send me stuff from the UK in 2 days shipping, and some other magic shops, even some of them that are 20 minutes by car away with me, when they have an online special, it takes them 2 weeks. So commendations to Alakazam for sending me their products so fast. I super appreciate it. And that's the end of the review. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one, because I do think that it's going to be a really good product and one that will interest some of you. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.